Hello everyone, I'm going to do another weather video here. This is the European model. I'm going to try and keep this under 10 minutes. So, yesterday I watched the video that I made and I realized that I repeat myself way too much. So I'm going to try not to do that. And I also apologize in advance that the camera shakes sometimes because I am videotaping this on my phone. So I am subject to sometimes shake the camera, and I hope it's not too bad. Not much change from yesterday, so I'm going to go through this weekend storm really quick. European model 500 millibar vorticity. This shows where the energy disturbances in the atmosphere are. This is from earlier this morning. You have these two pieces of energy here, these two short waves, which are going to combine. And this piece of energy is going to pull this piece of energy northward. And this is a storm that's going to bring us rain later tonight into tomorrow. And possibly some snow for northern New Hampshire and Vermont and central and northern Maine. Haven't really looked over accumulations for those areas because I'm not really forecasting for that far north, but just know that there will be a chance of snow for extreme northern New England from this storm that's moving through tomorrow into tomorrow night. So here we go. These pieces of energy combine, they form a trough. This trough moves out across central New England by tomorrow night, and this plays a role in this weekend storm because after this trough moves out, here's the energy that brought the storm Tuesday into Wednesday. You have colder air coming in, and it's not Arctic air, but it is cold enough that certain areas will be receiving snow this weekend. Not us, unfortunately. So here's the idea. So that trough moves out, and then you have, if you go back one more frame, this strung out piece of vorticity coming in to the west coast here. I'll just position my camera better. And the idea here is, look at how strung out it is. It's not really that strong in the first place, so I'm not really confident there's going to be a strong storm, as I said yesterday, and here it is. This is the southern part. This is the northern part. The southern part down here is what's going to form your storm across the Gulf Coast. So if we go to the low and high map, here's your storm. That's associated with the southern piece of energy. And these two are going to recombine, as you can see. But the problem is you have more energy up in the north, and that's not dropping south and strengthening this low pressure over across the Gulf. And I went over that last night. So because there is no energy dropping down, the storm is going to be weak. However, because you have energy concentrated in the north, this storm will be pulled northward, but it won't be strong. Moving along, here we are. This is Sunday morning, so going back, this was Saturday night, so your low, just to give you an idea of time frames here, your low is still over the Gulf Coast Saturday morning, excuse me, not Saturday night, so this is Saturday morning. Going to Sunday morning, your trough is across the northeast. There's basically no energy concentrated across the Delmarva and the Carolinas. So there's your weak storm, and it will be pulled northward. And the basic idea here is the trough is negatively tilted, so moisture will be pulled in from the ocean. And there will be a band of precip out ahead of this trough because you get upward motion. And the basic idea is that this high is all the way up here, so I don't really see a definite source of cold air along the I-95 corridor for accumulating snow, even a little bit. So my prediction is that Saturday night into Sunday, and then if you go ahead one more frame, you see the low is still kind of hanging around into Monday morning. So between Saturday night and Sunday night, there will be a band of precip that goes across southern New England, central and northern New England. I think north and west of the I-95 it's mainly snow. And southeast of there, so coastal Massachusetts, including Boston, Rhode Island, most of Connecticut. I'm going to go with south of Poughkeepsie in New York, south and east of Poughkeepsie, including New York City. Most of New Jersey, coastal New Jersey especially, and then down into the Delmarva. It's mainly going to be a light rain event, possibly mixing with snow at nighttime, but not expecting much accumulation. North of there, You are going to be mainly light snow. I don't think there will be significant accumulation. So I'm thinking a couple of inches for those areas. 2 to 3, maybe 2 to 4, but not much more than that, if that even happens. 2 inches, 2 to 4 is a good approximation. Now, going further ahead, if you go back one, pay attention to this trough and this trough. In the next run, they combine. So as your storm comes up, it's going to strengthen when it combines with this. So that tells me that for Maine, and for maybe other portions of northern New England here, you have a high up here funneling in cold air. You have a better chance of getting a little more snow in Maine and northern New England than in central and southern New England from this storm. And this would be Monday morning into Monday night, most likely. Well, Sunday night into Monday. So I don't think anybody's getting more than 6 inches of snow from the weekend storm, but if you do get 6 inches or close to it, it's going to be in northern New England. That is my thought. This storm moves out, and at this point, there's no way this video is going to be under 10 minutes. So we'll go for under 15, which is still a big improvement from 22 minutes last night. So that storm moves out, and if you look here, on Monday morning, you have all this vorticity, all this energy up here across the northwest and northern U.S. there. And then you have another piece of energy along the southern jet stream here, and this is going to form a storm. You have low pressure associated with all this energy. You have a really strong upper low, actually, across, I don't even remember what state that is. Oh, that's North Dakota, sorry. Across North Dakota, you have a really strong upper low. Now, what's going to happen is this piece of energy is going to combine with this piece of energy after this piece of energy. All right, let me see if I can explain this better. So, your southern piece of energy forms a storm down here across the Gulf Coast. The northern piece of energy is going to combine with the southern piece of energy and bring this area of low pressure that forms northward. So hopefully that made sense. So here we go. We're going to run ahead. See, they combine. You have the really strong upper low in the north. That will be bringing precip and funneling in Arctic air as it moves east. Okay? So unfortunately, this is Tuesday morning, by the way. But unfortunately, the European model does not go past this point with vorticity, so I'm going to switch over to the Canadian model now. And the Canadian model and the European have been very consistent with the energy here, so it's really like, it doesn't matter which one we look at. Actually, hold on, I'm going to go to the 240. So we were at 168. So here it is. The Canadian model, actually, what I noticed is a little more separated right now on Tuesday morning. I just noticed that. But most of the models have the same end game. See, this is your strong upper low. That's going to be delivering Arctic air. So this is the northern part of the disturbance. Then you have the southern part of the disturbance, your other trough down here that's going to form a storm. This is Wednesday or Tuesday evening. This is where we were. So this is Tuesday evening. Wednesday morning. Here you go. Here's the piece of energy that forms the storm. Here is your really strong trough, upper trough. And if you look at your low pressure map, here's the upper low. Here's the storm. You see here, this is negatively tilted, so it is going to come up. And this trough is behind, and that worries me. So this is going to be a threat for Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. And see, the problem with the Canadian model is you see how these two troughs, let's just go back one here. This is where we were. Pay attention. This is the piece of energy that forms a storm that would come up the coast. Here is our second trough that is guiding up the coast. However, they're not combined. This trough is delivering Arctic air as it moves east. So if this piece of energy, this trough that formed the storm in the south, does not combine with this, then there's going to be no cold air in place along the coast for a snowstorm on Christmas. Which is why I'm thinking that I-95 south and eastward is mainly rain from this on Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. If you go ahead one more frame, they're combined. But look at this. The low is already over Long Island and New York City. It's too close to the coast. So this is the upper low that is delivering the cold air. And your storm's already over coastal Long Island and New York City. So my thinking is that if you're going to get snow out of this, which I think most of the models are showing, that inland areas, again, north and west of the I-95. So if I'm going to highlight my threat area, I'm going to do western New York, across central New York, north of Connecticut, away from southeastern Massachusetts, away from coastal Maine, central and northern New England on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I think we could have a 6+ inch of snow scenario. Some of the models are showing up to a foot of snow possible because look at this trough. It's a really potent trough. Really strong. So that's a possibility. So I think we could get a snowstorm in central and northern New England Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, north of the coast. However, there's a couple of variations here in the models. If you look back, one more run, the European has these pieces of energy combined, which means that Arctic air might come in quicker with respect to the European model than the Canadian model is showing. So what's really important is the way that the coast could get a snowstorm out of this. The main way that it could happen is if all this energy comes together earlier. Because if that happens, then your Arctic air is going to be supplied earlier as well. So then this low would most likely be a little further east. It would come up, your Arctic air would be in place, and you would have a big East Coast snowstorm for Christmas. But it's going to take a lot to get that. So right now, I'm thinking that this is a threat mainly for central and northern New England, again. And I think that there's a very good chance of 6+ with this. That moves out after Christmas. See, look, the pieces of energy come together late, and then this whole thing strengthens. You have a really strong upper low. And so basically, again, the strengthening happens too late for I-95 on southward. But for central and northern New England, you're looking good for snow on Christmas. A lot. So that moves out, and then behind the trough, this is what makes me really excited. Behind that trough, that upper low ushers in Arctic air. Not cold air, Arctic air. First shot of Arctic air for us of the winter season. Okay? When you have Arctic air coming in, you always look for storms to form. And what do you have? You have all of this energy coming in from the Pacific. Right? So here it is. This is the piece of energy I'm concerned about for Christmas weekend. Maybe into early next week maybe into early New Year's week. That's what we'll call it. So I'm gonna watch this, but I think that this is the piece of energy that could create our first real snowstorm. And again, it's way out, so I'm just spitballing here. But I really think that after the Christmas storm moves through, we get Arctic air. There will be at least increasing threats for snow between Christmas and New Year's and into January when Arctic air becomes more substantial in the Northeast. And this piece of energy could be one of those threats. So if we get a snowstorm in 2 weeks, I called it first. That's what I'm going to say. Alright, so that is the latest update, and we are under 15 minutes, which is very good. Yay. I hope that was all understandable. So just a brief recap. This weekend storm, rain and snow mixed terrain at the coast. Central and northern New England, light snow, maybe 2 to 4 inches, if that. Northern New England, watch out, you could get a little more. Christmas Day storm, watch out, central and northern New England, I'm thinking 6+ is a possibility. Coast, I'm thinking rain. But that could change if those troughs combine earlier. And then after that, we have Arctic air come in, and you'll watch this piece of energy here. So that's it. That's the update. I'll post more throughout the week because we're still far out, so things could change. So stay tuned.